Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm. We do that as often as we can, usually several times per week. We try to make something happen in a good way there, and we continue to do so wherever we can. This is the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel where we discuss, obviously, pro wrestling of a wide variety of topics and such, and we continue to do so wherever and whenever we can. We got almost 2,800 of these for your listening pleasure, and a wide variety of topics, times, time frames, and all that good stuff. In any event, we have the AEW Dynamite review for this past Wednesday. I've been without internet for a few days, so better late than never. Anyway, AEW Road Rager event from the 15th of December or June. Anyway, so William Regal joins on commentary for the match, which is the hair versus hair match. Chris Jericho with Jericho Appreciation Society defeating Ortiz with Eddie Kingston. Ortiz goes at Jericho right away, comes back with a Lion's Hold attempt, but Ortiz gets his knees up and beats him down on the outside. Jericho places the barber's chairs and lays in a couple of punches. Back in the ring, Ortiz continues to dominate until Jericho rakes the eyes. Ortiz then returns fire with a splash for a 2 count. Anyway, Ortiz hits a dive, and then a forearm from Jericho follows up by suplexing him on the apron to the floor. Commercial. Jericho then sits on top of Ortiz, starts to come back with a strike combination before hitting a hanging cutter for a 2 count. DDT gets 2 more. Jericho then avoids a corkscrew splash, hits a code breaker for a near fall. Ortiz gets a near fall off a backslide. Jericho reverses a Rana into the walls of Jericho and then reaches the ropes. Parker gets involved. Kingston runs out and attacks Jericho Appreciation Society. Santana and Willie Uta run out and join the brawl. Inside the ring, Kingston then hits Jericho with a Hurricane, but then Jericho kicks out. Ortiz attempts a great near fall. Hager then tries getting involved. This allows Fuego del Sol to run out and attack Ortiz with Floyd the Bat, giving Jericho the win after the match. And there is an unmasking, and it's Guevara. Some guy in a barber outfit shaves the head of Ortiz. Kingston gives Ortiz a mic, and Ortiz repeatedly shouts blood and guts, and he manages to get his head shaved. Not a fan of this. Honestly, Jericho is flat as flat can be, and to be fair, Ortiz just doesn't have the... I mean, he's good in tag teams, but does he need to be in a singles match like this? I suppose it sets up the blood and guts thing, which I don't know shouldn't be on a pay-per-view, but anyway. 20-on-1 handicap match. Wardlow defeats the Plaintiffs with Mark Sterling. Plaintiffs surround the ring. They're eliminated by sending over the top rope. Wardlow eliminates 4 before powerbombing another into the pile. Submits and pins 2 simultaneously, and then pins 2 more. Powerbombs 3 of them and stacks them up, eliminating them. And then does it again to 4 more and 5 more. Final Plaintiff tries to run a top rope attack. Wardlow cuts him off, powerbombs him. After the match, Wardlow brings Sterling into the ring as he's about to attack him. Dan Lambert and Scorpio Sky interrupts, and Lambert tells Wardlow to look over his shoulder and then directs Matt Hughes and Tyson Woodley, who's in the front, to attack Wardlow. Wardlow gets on the microphone and said Hughes and Woodley were too smart to take orders from Lambert. We're cut from the same cloth, he says. Woodley turns Sterling and sends him to Wardlow, who powerbombs him to end the segment. Will Ospreay defeats Dax Harwood. Harwood may be the best wrestler in the world, and Ospreay, if you're into his style, certainly has something very unique. Kind of once of a generation type stuff. There's good cheers for both wrestlers. Ospreay manages to take Dax down with a Rana. Dax comes back with a nasty chop and a back body drop. Ospreay then hits a 2 count. They jockey for position. On the apron, Dax tries suplex, but Ospreay escapes and sends him into the steps with a shotgun drop kick. Back from the commercial, Dax hits a bunch of German suplex, follow-ups with a release, and Ospreay rolls out of the way of a diving headbutt and lands a springboard 450 for near fall. Ospreay then goes up to the top. Dax cuts him off and chops him with an avalanche back suplex, which Ospreay counters into a crossbody for another near fall. Dax then cradles Ospreay for another near fall. Ospreay then hits a jackknife powerbomb. Dax comes back with another roll up for a near fall. Ospreay lands a diving forearm. Dax his head for a 2 count. He then calls for the Oz Cutter, but Dax goes for the rebound powerbomb. Ospreay fights out, and Dax recovers, counter, Oz Cutter, and powerbomb for the 2 count. They butted heads and traded forearms. Dax gets the better of the exchange, levels Ospreay with a lariat. Ospreay then comes back with a Liger bomb and near fall. Finally gets able to hit the Oz Cutter for a near fall. Ospreay then destroys Dax with the Hidden Blade for the win. After the match, Aussie Open, Great-O-Khan, and Jeff Cobb come to ringside attacking Dash, Cash Wheeler, and Roppongi Vice come out to join the brawl. Orange Cassidy's music plays, and he returns after about 3 or 4 months away due to injury. He and Ospreay faced off in the ring. Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi face-to-face. Way too many of the New Japan talents here that have not been properly built. Both men make full entrances. Moxley said that he's been chasing Tanahashi for a long time. Now he's here. He said from day one in New Japan, it's always been about Tanahashi. There's one man they call Ace, and that's you. But not for long. Moxley said that he himself, the best wrestler on the planet, and there's more on the line at Forbidden Door than just the championship. When the dust settles to Forbidden Door, you're going to call me Ace. Jericho's music played, and he walks out flanked by Guevara and Tay Conti, and said that he was, this is his spot, and threatened to burn Moxley's face because he's a wizard. Jericho points out that he beat Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom. Tanahashi tells him to shut up. Why do fans of AEW know or care what Wrestle Kingdom is? Jericho calls the rest of the Jericho Appreciation Society come out. But El Desperado and Lance Archer of Suzuki Gun come out and attack Jericho. They introduce Guevara and Conti as the newest members of Jericho Appreciation Society. Jericho said Suzuki Gun members were on loan from Minoru Suzuki, who will team with Jericho at Forbidden Door alongside Guevara against Wheeler Yuta, Shumi Umino, and Eddie Kingston. Kingston, Yuta, Santana, and Ortiz run out and clear house. Tanahashi hits Desperado with a sling blade, and then Moxley faced off to end the segment. Again, I'm not a fan of any of this. It's foolishness. It's overdone, and honestly, too many new talents make things just fall together unnecessarily. Video packaging discussing Darby Allin's anger at Red Dragon for injuring Sting. Darby said he'd break Bobby Fischer's leg. They'll face off on Rampage. Toni Storm asked about facing Britt Baker tonight. She said Baker is a dentist, meaning she studied and she knows things. Storm dropped out of school at 15, but she knows not to be like Baker. And she will take on the AEW women's division to where it should be. She doesn't fit, and honestly, she was just hired because she's WWE cast-off. AEW All-Atlantic Championship qualifies. Miro defeats Ethan Page with Dan Lambert. Page has been wasted since being in AEW. I mean, this show just shows me that the prominence of internet influence is way too high, and I don't think it's good for business, to be completely honest. Anyway, early on, Page runs into Miro before backing him up in the ring on a chase, and then leg kicks drop Miro before Page turns and attacks Miro's left arm. Miro comes back with a lariat and beats down Page before sending him shoulder first into the ring post. Back from the break, Miro lands a bunch of blows into the ropes. Page counters by dropping Miro's arm over the ropes, sends him into the steel step, diving cutter on Page, gets a 2 count. Miro fires up, hits a bunch of overhead throws, lands a running kick, and calls for the game over. Lambert hopped up on the apron. Miro dispatches him, hits a thrust kick on Page, locking in the game over for the win. Isn't there anyone who could have done this besides a guy like Page with talent? Then Dante Martin and Matt Sydal video promo airs. Dante will face Jon Moxley on Rampage. He said he was sick and tired of being labeled potential. He's a new star, would be born on Rampage. Sydal called Inhuman Dante Martin Inhuman. Is he alien? Anyway, Tori Storm defeats Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Rebel and Jamie Hayter. Not a fan of this at all because Britt Baker's still one of the best women's talents they have. Early distraction from Rebel provides an opening for Baker to attack Storm. Storm fires back. They go to the floor, landing a diving crossbody for near fall back in the ring. Rebel distracts the official. During the break, Baker maintains control. Storm comes back with a tornado DDT and then second on the floor. Baker then gets a glove from Rebel, but Storm cuts her off with a German suplex, following up with a hip attack from the corner, which I guess is fine, but I'm not really a fan of this either. And then locks on Baker with legitimate out of it. But then there's a ruse as Baker rolls Storm up, neckbreaker on Baker, gets 2 more for a 2 count, and then Baker puts the glove on, but Storm has the lockjaw scouted, hits a German, followed by Storm 0 for the win. After the match, Thunder Rosa comes out and posed with the championship. Stokely Hathaway is backstage. Jade Cargill issues an open challenge for the TBS championship, and Hathaway will be on commentary. Willow Nightingale walks up and says she's trying to prove herself. She accepts Jade's challenge. Hangman Page promo. Page says last week he challenged Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, but Jay White wins the title this past weekend. The challenge still stands. Adam Cole interrupts, congratulating White on the title victory. He thought he should challenge for the championship at Forbidden Door because Forbidden Door is about the Bullet Club and the Undisputed Elite. He introduced his Switchblade in. Signals as if he's coming down the ramp, but White showed up behind Page and laid him out. White said he's the catalyst of professional wrestling and the IWGP Championship. Meanwhile, Page couldn't beat Punk, and White is 2-0 against Page anyway. He won't defend the title against Page. Switchblade Driscoll said it won't be against him either. Then we go to the Road Rager AEW Rampage teaser. Darby Allin, Bobby Fish, Jon Moxley, Dante Martin, Jade Cargill, Willow Nightingale, and Max Caster in action. Also during the main event, Thunder Rosa Tony Storm for the World Women's Championship, and Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy are announced for Forbidden Door. Tag Team Championship ladder match. Young Bucks, the Jacksons defeat Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus to win the titles. I'm not a fan of this title change at all. The Bucks are only here to suck the life out of the division, put themselves over after appearing like they care about moving new guys forward. Although I feel like the title reign for the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus has been flat. I don't support in any way the idea of a return to a championship reign for the Bucks, who really haven't earned it. They are not as good as they think they are, nor are they moving the needle as far as ratings are concerned. 750,000 or something like that, 740,000 on Dynamite, just is a sign that no one really cares about the Bucks. Luchasaurus takes the Bucks down, double clothesline early. Bucks send him into the barricade. Jungle Boy takes out Matt with a tope. Jungle Boy and Nick, ending with Jungle Boy taking out Nick with a Rana. Both teams managed jockey position. Bucks trip up Luchasaurus, isolate Jungle Boy, then tried to suplex Jungle Boy out of the ring through a table. Luchasaurus cuts him off. Jungle Boy then tries to run a Matt off the apron, again through a table. Nick counters another Jungle Boy attack and powerbomb through the table before hitting Luchasaurus with a destroyer. He kicks Luchasaurus onto the table and puts him through it. 450 splash for his trouble after commercial. Bucks are in control still. Luchasaurus continues to climb the ladder until Jungle Boy knocks Matt off his back with a ladder shot. After all four men climbed into the center of the ring, they battled on top of the ladder. Luchasaurus last guy up, but the Bucks are able to powerbomb him onto the ladder bridge that they had built before. Reverse Rana onto Jungle Boy. Diving elbow from Matt sends Luchasaurus through yet another table. Jungle Boy then took both Bucks out with Germans. He climbs the ladder, but the Bucks recovered and hit the BTE trigger on the ladders before Jungle Boy reverses and punish the Bucks into ladder over before falling down himself. Luchasaurus sets up a ladder in the center of the ring, climbs, but the Bucks then send him out of the ring onto a table. Stack and Hardy's Edge and Christian Dudley Boys type material here. Bucks hit Jungle Boy with a BTE trigger, and then they climb the ladder, pulling him down, and pull down the belts for the win. After the match, Christian Cage comes out and turns on Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, and that will close us for this run. We'll be back with more right after this.